This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV Profit.
Welcome to Power Lunch, and thanks so much for joining us on this show. The markets are just a bit on tenterhooks because they're trying to take that session of subdued trade once again from the day yesterday into the day today, and that's what the Nifty futures and some of the other indices are beginning to reflect. The Sensex is down 96 points. If you track the top of your screen, you'll get a whole host of important indicators on what is called the index strip. For now, we'll start with the top stories, and it is M&M's Logan, as we do a complete sales check on it, the kind of gains that are beginning to come in as it competes with not just the C segment but also the B segment as a preference on top. Markets, but how's the momentum in the auto sector where the competition is hot for cars, especially in the B and C segment? Let's find out how the Logan drive has been so far for Mahindras. Joining me live in Mumbai is Rajesh Jejurikar. He's the Managing Director of Mahindra Renault and also Executive Vice President, Sales and Marketing at the automotive sector at Mahindra. Thanks so much, Rajesh, for joining in. Tell us about Logan, the kind of sales response you've seen and how the few months have been that have just gone by.
Well, we've actually had a very, very good response to the Logan. We started bookings only in one city, which is Mumbai, on the 9th of April. And then have now over the last 5 weeks rolled it out over just, we're in 11 cities currently. So it's been a phased launch. We've had in this period about 25,000 inquiries, and we've given about 12,000 test bookings. And we've sold in this month, we started deliveries only this month. So we've done a sale of about 1,500 vehicles this month, which is in the last couple of weeks in May. So if one was to sort of put this in context, we are really represented currently in 40% of the car market, which is what the 11 cities constitute. In these cities, which is 40% of the market, we've got a booking of 3,000, which is roughly a test drive to conversion ratio in a period of about 3 weeks of about 30%. So basically, we believe it's been a very, very good initial response to the launch.
Sure. And do you think that in some of these cars, which are especially the fresh ones to hit the roads, is diesel beginning to take in a lot more preference and sales bookings are higher there?
Yeah, so we were anticipating diesel to be the front runner for Logan. It is a very, very fuel efficient vehicle, and several auto magazines have covered, of course, the Logan. And in fact, a magazine like Overdrive actually says that it's an absolute winner because the fuel efficiency they got, for example, on the highway was as high as 27 kilometers a liter, and the average fuel efficiency they got on their drive cycle was about 18. And so we've had about 70% of the bookings have been from diesel, which was in line with what we were expecting.
Right. You do say that there's been an overwhelming response. At no point do you think that the pricing of the Logan has been something to get worried about? Because I know a lot of people are beginning to look at it as a more reasonable car than the others. Sometimes it goes in favor, sometimes it does not. What's the view building up there after the initial inquiries?
Well, the proof of the pudding is in the conversions that we've got. We've got a conversion ratio of test drive to bookings of about 30%. Now, we believe this is a very good ratio because in a competitive car market where in a period of 3 weeks you're able to convert a test drive into a booking, and we have bookings with booking amounts, and the waiting period has been typically 4 to 6 weeks. We believe that we've really struck the right chord with customers because the conversions have been very healthy.
All right, let's have a look at some of the other aspects of this entire business, which is the fact that there was a talk about getting ahead on export sides for the Logan. What's the update on the RHD exports, and do you have a timeline that you've set on paper?
Well, the current priority is the domestic market. We are still in the process of ramping up, and what we mean by that is we are still ramping up to meet the full capacity of the shift 1, and it's only a month and a half from now will we be at full capacity, which is the 2 shifts, which will be the sort of installed capacity that we have in place. So we're currently focusing on the domestic market. There are no immediate plans for export of right-hand drive, though there are a few countries where Renault would look at exporting right-hand driven parts where a right-hand drive vehicle may be made, but there's no immediate export plan. It's really a domestic focus strategy.
Right, so the domestic focus is clearly very big. Give me an idea as to, on a 12-month basis, do you think, if you've done so well in the last few weeks, you have a target in place, about what, 8,000?
What do you mean by 8,000?
In terms of number of Logans that you hope to sell by the end of the year?
No, we normally do not share our target because and that's been a sort of guideline or policy that we've been following in M&M for a while. What I am able to share with you is that the initial customer feedback, and that when I say that, I'm talking about the analysis that we've done out of the various test drive forms, the response that we've got from the auto experts, which is the whole automobile magazine and television fraternity, including NDTV, has all rated the product extremely well, and based on that we are very, very optimistic about the sales volumes for this year.
Great. Let's turn our attention to the Scorpio. I mean, it's after all been one of your premier products, something that's taken you places across the world. When is the Scorpio 2.2 version expected? Markets are sort of excited about that one.
You know that at every point of time, every organization and brand works on new initiatives and new versions. We have various versions and variants that we are working on for Scorpio as well. At this point of time, it will be premature to sort of talk about a specific date when we will launch a version. So I would have to leave it at that. And I cannot commit to any version launch date.
Surely, as a person who's driving, the sector, automotive sector there, in terms of relationships with Renault, is there some idea as to whether your engineer division is likely to see expertise pitch in from Renault's side? Initially, there was a clarity from your end that it may not, but now it's beginning to look like that perhaps Renault might be interested in this. Would you want to just comment on that and clarify?
No, well, the Ingenio project, we've spoken about it earlier. It's a project which is at a very advanced stage of launch, and we've been working on this project for more than 3 years now, which is from when we conceptualized it. So the project is at a very advanced stage, so there's really no question, and it's all been done independently by M&M so far. So there's really no question, to the best of my knowledge, any discussion of Renault getting involved at this stage of this project, because it has been an M&M driven project, and we've sort of worked on it for over 3.5 years. So it's really at an advanced stage. So there's really no talk of any involvement of Renault on this project at this point of time.
Right. Of course, a couple of industry issues that always dog any player in this market are commodity linked. Sure. Are margin pressures going up because of commodity fluctuations?
No, not really. We haven't really seen any significant commodity upswings in the last few months. We have so far always been able to, take price increases to match increase in commodity prices. So we haven't really seen the effect of margin pressure at all so far. So we do manage it either through cost reduction, through a comprehensive cost reduction program where we look at all other elements of cost, and of course through our ability to take higher prices.
So does one imagine that this year could also be one of high prices, and commodity cycles being upwards, one could expect price hikes in this space?
Well, if there is an increase in commodity price, one has to finally make sure that you don't compromise on the value offering to the customer. So it's always a combination of how much is the customer willing to pay versus what else you can drive by way of cost reduction. So we never work on a plan based on which we sort of say all commodity price increases are passed on to the customer, but we do look at a strategy by which we maximize value to the customer and optimize all elements of cost so that it's the customer who wins along with us. So that's really how we look at it comprehensively, combination of pricing and cost.
Thanks, Rajesh, for joining in. That's a little bit of industry outlook, but yes, Logan looks on track as the management has highlighted, and they're quite pleased with the initial sales that have come in and the conversions that have been witnessed. Well, we're going to move away from auto to what move up. But let's wrap up the show for the moment. We leave you with the weather report, but after that is newsroom, so don't go away. Stay with us on NDTV Profit.